What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode on the Back to Life podcast. Big shout out to the sign right here, freshly printed and worked on in this house, literally. No, but shout out to the Back to Life podcast. Shout out to all of y'all listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's an interesting topic, okay? So I decided to do a video due to the constant requests, due to the constant questions, how to start your own YouTube channel. How to start a YouTube channel, how much money I make on YouTube, what should I talk about on YouTube, what should I do, like how do I YouTube? And that's an interesting topic because today's world is all about social media, it's all about this digital world, and it brings you into this life of like, man, other people are doing videos, I want to do videos, how do I get started, what am I supposed to do, I don't know what to do. I'm here to give you those answers. They don't work for everybody, okay? Like starting a YouTube channel isn't for everybody. Posting on social media isn't for everybody. So if this works for you, thanks for listening. But I'm gonna try to give you like 1 to 5 steps somewhere in there. End off with 5, like how you can start your own YouTube channel, how much you'll make, how much I make, and just things like that, because I think that stuff is important when talking about like what does YouTube mean, what is YouTube about, like is this something I should even get into, is this something I should waste my time with, is this something I should invest my time with, like where do I stand, because you don't want to put like 5 years into something and then you're like, well, I don't really like this. So I'm here to kind of just jump in and tell you like what is YouTube, how to YouTube, and just how to understand YouTube for what it is. And first things first, okay, step 1, you gotta come up with a name. You gotta see like what you stand for. You know, like for me, Back to Life is all about what the name actually says. So, you know, I think in life we kind of get into these places where we forget that we're actually alive and that we're supposed to be living life. And we just go to school, we go to work, we get the job, we get in debt, and we just kind of go through this life as like this robot and just get on this little cycle of like being a rat and just running in circles and circles and circles. And we forget that like there's life outside of that. There's life that actually happens that we can enjoy, that we can go into and explore, go live, go experience different things. So that's what Back to Life for me is. And that's how I came up with that name, is just because I love to empower, I love to inspire, educate, bring people along in my world and just show them that like there is importance in life. That's my entire thing. And I encourage you to sit there and just kind of understand that everybody's passion, everybody's purpose, everybody's reason for being alive in this world is different, okay? You can't compare yours to mine, I can't compare mine to yours. We can compare notes, we can talk about things, we can discuss, open discussions, things like that. But understanding the importance of like being true to who you are is so important, which I'll get into, and we'll get into the money, we'll get into the topics, getting into how you should start and everything like that. But number 1, like that's it. Like coming up with a name is super important, because you can look all across YouTube, people use their personal names, people are using fake names or whatever you're coming up with. Me, I personally use Back to Life because I don't want it to be all about me. I want it to be about, what the message is, what the purpose of everything is, and being able to like incorporate people into Back to Life is a lot easier than if it was like Travel with Nico or something like that, which is a cool channel name if your name's Nico and you want to start a travel channel. But anyways, moving on to like step 2, okay? So we're talking about like, hey, like how does this even work? How do I get started? First things first, like you need to make a Google account. Like this is as simple as it gets. Make a Google Gmail. It doesn't have to be the name of your YouTube channel, but go in once you've decided like this is where I'm going to make the name. Make a Google account. Log into YouTube. You can click on a little thing called My Channel, and then you can change your name of the channel, whatever you decide. And from there, it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, how does this work? Like, what is YouTube? First off, like you gotta start uploading something, right? Like you can't just have a channel out there asking people to subscribe, no content, things like that. And for me personally, I talk about doing things naturally. I talk about life being what it actually is, because if you try to jump into something that you're not truly passionate about and you actually don't feel excited, that's a scary place to be in, because if you do become successful, then you're always putting on this persona that's not real, and you're not an actor, you're a YouTuber. It's real life. You want to be able to express yourself through your videos, because that's the platform that YouTube gives you. That's what YouTube has allowed us to do, is to be ourselves. And from there, I just want to talk about the idea of like, well, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to do. Like, you've already got your Google account, you've got your name for your channel, and it's like, what do I do? Excuse me. And it's just, you start posting, start filming your life, start actually going through and posting the things that you think no one cares about. Because when we think about this, like, imagine there being 8 billion people in this world, right? You don't need 8 billion people to fall in love with you. You need like 0.0000001%, even smaller than that. I just don't even know what that equates to, but you need less than that even to fall in love with maybe how you wake up, what you do during the day, how you cook breakfast, what you eat, what you say, how you think. And we kind of get lost in this idea that like, oh, I want to be famous. But I tell people, like, just do what you actually do and see how people react to that. And I'll go into that a little bit further, like in step 4 and 5, and talking about like what truly is important, how you should entertain people and stuff like that. But right now I'm just talking about like being true to yourself. Like, actually take the time to understand who you are, because once you become successful on YouTube, like it is a job. Like, you're paying your bills, you're making money, you're doing all that stuff. So you need to understand that you got to just do it. Like, let it flow, let it happen. If you're funny, be funny. If you're, sad, be sad. Like, give people what you truly are to see how they react to that, and just kind of move forward in that aspect, because it'll give you the chance to realize who you truly are as well. Like, I'm sitting here talking to a camera, making a podcast, and I have a YouTube channel that, has 165,000 subscribers roughly right now. And it takes time to develop these things, and during that time you develop as a human being. So like, step 2 would be literally like, take your time in developing who you are, being true to who you are, loving who you are, things like that. And I want to go into step 3. Step 3 is more so like, hey Nico, like, how do I build a community? How do I do like what you're doing? You're traveling. You have this super awesome like Back to Life family. Everything just kind of flows, right? Well, that took literally roughly almost 2 years at this point. It was about a year and a half ago actually is when I started the channel. 1 year ago is when I actually started traveling. And now I'm sitting on, I believe it's literally like 164,000 something subscribers. I'll tell you exactly the number, what it is, and the amount is 164,804 subscribers. And that is taking me in June or July, it'll be about 2 years. And it's not easy. It is not easy. It's tough, like times get rough, you go through dark moments, you're like, should I be doing this? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, and then when you actually get a little bit of success, it starts validating those feelings of like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be on social media. I want to vlog. I want to post stuff. And that is good, because you need those like steps. You need those steps that like you question yourself and you're like, no, I got to keep grinding, because it pushes you through. But I think it's super important to actually understand the idea of going in and creating a community, okay? Because I tell people all the time here locally, a lot of my friends are like, man, you've blown up. You got 115,000 followers on Instagram. You got 200,000 on TikTok. You got 165,000 on YouTube, man. Like, what is it? And I'm like, yo, like, just post valuable content, stuff that brings people value. When you do that, like, people will start forming this community for you. This isn't to say like, just, bring people down negatively and all that stuff, because everything I do is all about positivity. But you got to understand that like, people, once you build that community, are like, they fall in love with the idea, whether it's your personality, whether it's how you do things, whether it's like the food you eat, whatever it is, like you have your own like thing that you focus on, right? But you gotta understand that like building a community is just one person at a time. You don't have to get 1 million people to fall in love with you right now. You don't have to get 2 million, 3 million. Like, it takes one person at a time. And I tell people that all day long. It takes one person. That is it. You don't know who that one person might show. You don't know who those 2 people might show after that. And then 3 show 4, and then 5 show 6, and 6. And now next thing you know, you got 50 subscribers. And then those 50 are like, yo, you gotta see my guy, man. You gotta see this person. You gotta see her. She's super interesting. And now you have 100 subscribers. Then you have 1,000. Then you have 2,000, 3,000. And from there, literally, it can just go crazy. And it helps you understand that, like, there's so much to it. Like, you're building a community that truly cares about you. Like, these people aren't just there to watch the video and keep moving. Like, they take time out of their day to watch your content. They take time out of their day to comment on your videos, to have dialogue with you, to have conversations, to buy merch, to do all these super cool things. And you can't just help but be grateful, because it's literally so crazy to me to understand that like strangers from all around the world literally fall in love with the idea that, yo, like, I like what this guy's doing. His life is interesting, so I'm gonna follow along. So that's a super humbling experience, and that's how you build your community, is one person at a time. You can't just like overlook everything else and be like, oh, well, I don't have enough, like, I'm gonna quit. If you quit after not going viral for 1 or 2 videos and not being able to build a community, then you don't deserve to be on YouTube. I probably did like 100 something videos before one video went viral, quote unquote. That got, I think, like 100,000 views, and then that started a compounding effect of building that family, that Back to Life family, where they're like, hey, I'm showing this to this guy, and I'm showing this to this girl, and then these people are following and supporting, and then it just creates this compounding effect that literally people from all around the world are watching and interacting, and you're entertaining a lot of people. And it's super cool to see that, because you might be from a small town, or even if you're from a big city, like, it doesn't matter. But it's so cool to be able to see that you're able to like connect with and bring together so many different personalities, nationalities, cultures, just different type of things. So that kind of goes into like, how do you build a family or a community? I call mine the Back to Life family. And then step 4, I would say, would go into like, let's talk about like the topic of what you're doing. I know step 2 was kind of in entertaining that idea of like, hey, just start filming your life. But step 4 is like, hey, like, what should I focus on? How do I figure this out? And I have a small little story for you, story time. And the biggest thing is taking yourself out of the equation. So I used to, you know, when you have 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers, you're like, man, why doesn't my family support me? Whether you're starting a business or whatever it is. But when you're doing YouTube videos, you get that same feeling. You're like, hey, I just made a video. I put time into editing it, filming it, cutting it, whatever you do to it. And you're like, why won't my brother watch? Why won't my sister watch? Why won't my family watch? And you almost get upset, and you're like, why won't my friends share it? Like, it just turns into this whole thing of like, why not, why not, why not? And I slowly realized over time, I was like, wait a minute. If I saw this same video while scrolling through recommendations on YouTube, would I click it? And I was like, honestly, I wouldn't even click my own video if I wasn't the one that was actually making it. So from there, I realized after a lot of months, probably like a year or so, a little less than a year or so, of starting the actual channel, I was like, I need to figure out a way to take myself out of the equation, create a thumbnail, create a title, and create video content that will actually be interesting to people. Not to me, not to my dad or my mom, but to people that I don't know. How can I figure this out? And from there, it kind of became more, I would say like, I don't want to say more easy, because when you're emotionally invested into something, like, it hurts to the core. It's this, it's that. But like, the way I look at things now is like, when you post a video, you gotta let it do what it's gonna do. But you have to take time. Like, you have to hone in on your craft. Like, it becomes a job. After you become successful and it starts paying your bills, which we're gonna get into in step 5, and then I'll reflect a little bit and kind of give you some nuggets here and there. But you have to truly hone in on like, what you're able to do for people, okay? Take yourself literally just away from the entire storyline. Take yourself and put you in another video. Take yourself out of it and say, if this was someone else, would I be able to sit here and watch this video? And for me, I chose traveling. Like, I love culture. I love new people. I love being able to sit down and just to listen to people talk about new things. And I love being able to interact with new people. I love being able to just fall in love with new places and things like that. So when I was like, yo, I'm going to go travel the world, which I started literally 1 year ago, I was like, hey, this is going to be what I do. Like, I'm going to go travel the world. I spent a ton of money, which I'll get into in step 5. And from there, I'm just going to film absolutely everything. And slowly, you learn how you like to project information, right? How you want to bring out your content, how you want to actually show people. If you like drone footage, if you like in-the-face footage, if you like music, if you like words, you start figuring yourself out. And you start figuring out like, hey, what kind of channel am I going to be? And that took me a long time. I think after about a year and 2 months-ish, somewhere around there, a little bit longer probably, I finally was like, hey, this is my style. This is what I want to do. This is what I like. I enjoy this type of vlogging. And that's why I do a lot of like commentating. I just kind of tell you what's actually happening. I show you stuff. I give my thoughts on it. It's very opinion based, of course, because it's like, what do I like? What country am I in? And my Back to Life channel, like I said, it's sitting right at 165,000 subscribers. It pays my bills. It takes me around the world. I get to see super cool, like amazing experiences all around the world. And it just, you have to be able to find that same thing for yourself. Because people, like when I first started, okay, it got very nerve-wracking. Like you're in a store, I walk into a Hobby Lobby here in America just to film something. Like I'm going through my day, I'm doing like lifestyle vlogging, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna film this, no problem. And I see people looking at me and I'm like, oh my gosh. But you also gotta remember that people in this world understand the importance of YouTube now, right? So they're maybe just interested in what you're doing. They may think, well, this guy might be like a 1 million subscriber YouTuber. That's pretty cool. So they want to see what you're doing and stuff like that. So it's easy to get nervous. It's easy to get like these feelings of like, man, everybody's watching me. But you got to focus on that camera lens. You got to focus on what you're doing, what your storyline is, and you just got to take care of it. Like how to start a YouTube channel, like that's like the simplest question you can ask. But at the end of the day, it turns into a lot of things. You gotta like overtake emotions. You gotta overtake your thoughts. Your actions gotta match like what you're talking about and all that good stuff. Like it's definitely not easy. We can go ahead and put that out there. Like I know plenty of people that start a YouTube channel and they're like, yo, I'm gonna do a video and it's gonna be great. And the video was actually pretty solid. And then after a week, it didn't go viral, so they took it down. They don't want to post any more videos and like, I don't like YouTube that much. Guys, this is not a sprint. Like YouTube takes time. It's like slow growth. If you go viral, yes, like super awesome. Congratulations. That is amazing. But when you look at people that actually like took time to like build a platform, to build like a true YouTube channel that has like amazing community members, family members to that exact channel, it takes time. You look at people that started YouTube like years and years ago, like the Casey Neistats, the Jake Paul, the Logan Paul, the Shane Dawsons, like you got travelers, you got like, you name it. People are using YouTube now to do everything, but it takes time to grow that. And let's say, you know, it took you a year to get 100,000 and then in the next month you jump to 500,000. That's just a byproduct of your hard work. That's a byproduct of like what you're bringing to the table, the content you're bringing. And I tell people all the freaking time, like just hone in on being okay with being yourself. You gotta be okay with that. If you are not okay with yourself, putting on this projection of like, oh, I'm this person or I'm gonna be this person, whatever the case may be, like, that like it runs out, and then you have to be this person that you're truly not. And when people see you and they want to take a picture with you or a selfie or whatever, like whatever it is, they expect a certain personality, and it's the personality they're watching on your channel. So you have to be able to sit there and go, okay, like who do I truly want to be? And for me, I chose to be myself. I chose to be this simple, super, I don't want to say the word basic, but just like super simple, happy, guy, like, because that's who I truly am. Like, life is amazing to me. Like, I truly just have fun being silly and just funny and dancing and like doing things that are fun, like living real life. And so I tell people all the time, like, find a way to do that for yourself, because if you're trying to portray something that you're not, it can become very, very, very hard to keep up that persona, that personality, and it's not fun to have to do that. Like, you talk about like movie actors and stuff, like, yeah, that's a movie. They're buying into a role. They need to sell an idea. They need to sell an emotion to you so that you feel some type of way. But YouTube is about being yourself. It's about being creative and authentic and genuine. So when you're saying like, well, I don't know what to focus on, just focus on being you. So many people can literally benefit from you being you. And I tell people all the time, it's like, it goes like this. When you're yourself, you got to realize that 8 billion people around the world, 8 billion people around the world don't know what your world is like. So even someone from Los Angeles doesn't know what someone from Chattanooga, Tennessee's life might be like. Or someone from Chattanooga doesn't know what life for somebody in India is like, or in Dubai, or wherever it may be. And I tell, like, it's just the thing of understanding that it's okay to be yourself. It is okay to be raw. It's okay to be authentic. It's okay to be honest. Like, it's okay to be transparent with people. Like, if you're happy, you're happy. If you're sad, you're sad. Like, and YouTube is what brings that community together, is because people are like, man, this is a real person, and I truly love what they're doing with their life, and I aspire to be that. Or one day it could be like, it'd be a great, opportunity to meet that person. Just tell them that they helped me through life or whatever. So understanding that, like, YouTube is more about like being yourself. That if you want to start a YouTube channel, take time to reflect before you start it. Like, don't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, I'm gonna do this, I wanna do this, I wanna do this and do this, and not give time to like understand who you are as a person and try to be someone that you're not. We got enough of that going on social media. Like, you got that all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even on YouTube. Like, so if you're gonna actually embark on this journey, take time to figure out who you are. Like, take time to figure out what life is actually about for you and what you want to portray to someone, because like I said, life in Chattanooga can be different than life in Los Angeles or New York City or Miami or India or Dubai or Sri Lanka or wherever it may be. And that's okay. And people want to know what that difference is like. But going into step 5, that just kind of wraps up step 4 right there. Just like, be you. Be you, be authentic, and find a way to portray that information in an entertaining way. But step 5, I'm going to talk about finances. I want to talk about, how much money do I make, things like that, because that's a big one for people. They're like, well, YouTubers are so rich, they drive Lamborghinis and they have big cars and blah, blah, blah. That is very true. You can make a lot of money off of YouTube. And back in the day, making money off YouTube was a lot easier. You can see a lot of people talking about that, making videos about that now, how like you can make a ton of money off of YouTube 4 or 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. And now it's a lot harder, whether it's like the type of content you're posting or whatever it is. But that is so true. So I didn't get monetized on YouTube until a year and about 2 months after I started. So about 13, 14 months in, I made $0. And at that point, I had spent about $30,000. Like, and you don't have to do that. I would go into this. I'm just telling you, like, I was gonna travel the world regardless. And for me, it became like, I'm gonna go travel the world. And I spent $30,000 in 2019 traveling to 10 countries, experiencing cultures, food, people, like getting out of my comfort zone and going and exploring the world. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually film everything and have my YouTube channel. And here's Back to Life. And then now we have Back to Life podcast. We have a book coming out. We have songs out on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. And it's just been such an experience and journey that, like, I'm so grateful that YouTube allowed for me to have, because without YouTube, I don't think I would have had the courage to be like, yo, I'm just gonna go to random countries and sleep in random buildings and meet random people, etc., etc. But to tie into the money part, as a teacher, most people know like teacher salaries around like, 35, 45,000, starting out teachers, first year teacher, high school teacher, something like that. You'll make about $35,000 to $45,000 depending on if you have a master's degree and all that, which I do. People always ask me like, man, like, do you make a ton of money off YouTube? I actually make a little more than I did as a teacher. So from YouTube, you make your money, then I have a house which is on Airbnb that people are using while I'm gone and stuff like that. So with everything combined, which is real estate and YouTube, I'm actually making a little more than I did as a high school teacher, which I'm still traveling the world, teaching people about different things. So I'm still a teacher per se, which is what I love to do. I love to inspire people, empower people, give them facts, give them opinions, give them ideas on what they can do with their life. So like I said, like you can make money literally, talking about plastic. You can make money talking about, like, kids are making money talking about toys and stuff like that. Some parents became millionaires because of their kids unboxing little toys and stuff like that. And so you got to look at it from a different perspective. Like, if you make it about the money from the get-go, I don't think that it's a place to be at, because you start falling into the thing of like always thinking about the money. Well, will this video make me money? Will this? And you start taking away from the authenticity of the content that you're producing. You're not actually doing things you like. You're not doing things that bring you happiness and joy and like that feeling of like, man, I can't wait to help someone with this video, whether it's a funny, entertaining video or sad or this or that or like pranks or whatever it is. But when you talk about like people that are successful, like it takes time. It takes time to grow. It takes time to make that money. And once you do, like that's your job. Like I gave up my high school teaching career and I became a full-time YouTuber, and now I travel the world, and that's an amazing experience for me personally. Like, if you enjoy your job and you just want to do YouTube as a hobby just because you want to bring people entertainment, or you enjoy that type of lifestyle, like with whatever you're doing, do it. Have a little side hustle. Like, you never know, you might make a couple dollars from it in a year or two. Like, you never know, because you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within 1 year to get on a monetization plan, like with YouTube, where Google starts paying you and stuff like that. But if you think about it only money-wise, like, I don't think you'll enjoy YouTube. I don't advise anyone just to get into YouTube because you're like, well, that's what I want to do because I want to make a ton of money and that's it. Like, and I'm not going to enjoy my videos. I'm just going to make up ideas that I know people will watch. You're going to lose all of that, like, feel good. Like, when you go and help someone, when you give a person something or some type of help and you're like, man, that felt good. That's the same feeling I get when I can take you around the world. And even though I'm spending all this money and like, that's something I still would have been doing because I wanted to travel. So being able to make this like a little bit more than what I was actually making as a teacher, going into a high school every single day, teaching kids, which was amazing. I had an amazing time. I just wanted to do it on a global scale. I wanted to be able to bring it to anyone, people in, South Africa and Brazil and India and Ukraine. And I'm actually I'm gonna log in and tell you I'm gonna read off the country list. Where I don't have internet right now, my Wi-Fi's down, but the country list, there's like countries like Malta and Latvia and Uruguay and all, like, places that first of all, I've heard, I guess, of a couple of them, but for the majority, I'm like, where are these countries? I have no idea where this is. And people are watching my Back to Life videos from there. So like, super shout out. I mean, like Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, like India, like it literally just blew my mind. Like, who was watching my videos? Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, like places I've never been or stepped foot in, and people are watching the videos, and I'm just like, man, this is so freaking cool. Australia, like, why are people watching my videos in Australia? Like, I don't know, like it's mind blowing. And it's so exciting and humbling at the same time. And it brings you this like feeling of like, man, this is so cool and I can't wait to keep pursuing it. So for me, like, that's why I made the last step, like the money part, is because you don't need to like focus on the money. Like, I made a New Year's resolution in 2019 and it was chase the experience, not the money. And that is the best thing I could have done in my life. I was able to experience so much in my life in 2019, which I wouldn't advise anyone to go to 10 countries in 1 year. Like, it just became like pow, 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 pow. I was running and running and running. I didn't get to truly like experience every country I was in unless I stayed for more than like 2, 3, 4 weeks. And so take time, like, go places, do things, take your time, let things plan out. Like, if you're still young, you're still young. You have all kinds of years to do stuff. If you're getting up there in age, like, don't worry, you still have time too. We just get so hell-bent on like, oh, I'm this age and I need to be doing this by this because society tells me I need to do this. Like, I've gained followers on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, every social media platform by doing things the right way and planned out and strategized. Like, doing things from the heart, doing things with purpose, with passion. Like, that's where it came from. So like, this is my like 5-step guide on how to start your YouTube channel, which it can be like, you know, twisted around, and there's stuff I'm leaving out because I'm just like talking about it. But if there's questions, like, I'll try to respond to as many as I can. But like, the biggest thing though I want to say is that our cellular devices, if you have an iPhone, a Samsung, any Android, like whatever you have, if you have any smartphone, if you get the YouTube app and you film landscape, you will have the same 1080 HDP, whatever, like video quality, whatever it is, you will have it, and you can literally upload from your phone. If you have data or Wi-Fi, find a place that has Wi-Fi. If you film your videos on your phone, you can literally start your own YouTube channel. Like, that's the reality of it. That's the coolness of it. That's the super dope part of everything, is that like, from this little device, you don't need an expensive camera, you don't need a microphone, you don't need a crew, you don't need anything. You can literally do it from this device right here, as long as you want to and you actually do it. You can't just talk about it all the time. A lot of people talk about, I want to do a YouTube channel, I want to try this, I want to try this. Just do it. Like, that's how you start a YouTube channel. All in all, if you want to start a YouTube channel and you're asking me how, you just do it. Start filming on your phone, download the YouTube app, create your YouTube name, have it on there, start posting videos. You're going to put descriptions in there, titles in there, thumbnails in there. You're going to tag keywords and stuff that you want people to be able to find you with. And eventually, one by one, if you put heart and soul into it and you actually practice, you know, like, and get experience from it, do your research, watch videos like this. Other videos are out there. That's how I got started. That's how I got tips and tricks and stuff like that. Like, just put your time and effort into it just like you would in anything else that you want to work out. Like, it's not easy. It's not just like, oh, YouTube sounds cool, I want to do it, and then snap of a finger, it's there and you have 1 million subscribers. It takes time. Slow growth brings that foundation, that family, that like true community around what you're doing. So I encourage every single one of you to, like, if you want to start a YouTube channel, do it. Don't just sit around talking about it. Actually start a YouTube channel. Go out there, start filming stuff. People want to see what you're doing. If they're already watching you on Instagram and all that stuff, they probably will watch you on YouTube. So just take that leap of faith, jump out there, start it. Like, and this is like, you know, this is a good little video on how to start a YouTube channel, how much money you make on YouTube, stuff like that. You can find this stuff everywhere. You can Google this stuff. There's articles, there's videos. You can look up how much famous YouTubers are making. The Jake Paul, the Logan Pauls, the Shane Dawsons, all that. Like, you can see how much they actually make on YouTube. You can go look up how to start your own YouTube channel, like with people actually showing you clips and stuff. I'm just kind of giving you information so that you can listen to it. But it's there, it's out there. People have been doing it for, I think YouTube's been around like 10 or 12 years at this point. Like, it's been out there, it's still out there. It's getting newer and newer, and you just gotta be more innovative. You gotta be more creative. And I hope that this video inspires you to do that. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you had all these questions, like, I encourage you to just take that leap of faith and make it happen. This is how to start a YouTube channel. You just do it. Like, quite frankly, that's just it. You just do it. But hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching along. Literally, I'll see you on my next podcast. Peace. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up, and make sure you follow me on Instagram at NicoTJR so you can see me going through awesome, amazing days as the days are actually happening, not on a delayed YouTube video. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out shopbacktolife.com. Grab you some merch, grab a t-shirt, grab a hoodie or something so that I can keep bringing you awesome content from all around the world, because this is a mobile podcast channel. You'll be seeing me in Mexico soon. You'll see me in Hawaii, other states in America, other countries, all that good stuff. So thank you for everyone that is supporting. Do check out shopbacktolife.com though. And make sure you turn on that bell, hit that post notification button so you can be the first to watch these videos, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. From there, my Back to Life family, I'll see you on my next podcast. Peace.